raising rabbits or things like that for food, this would be a great little spot. You could even put crops in here, a little tiny garden, if you wanted to be protected from smaller animals getting in. You could see that wattle and daub and that timber frame right there. Those look like metal hinges, which were probably not used that often. Like I said, metal was extremely expensive. It was a commodity. So again, got more wattle type fencing and a little shack out here. This looks like it might be some sort of woodworkers area. I'm not exactly sure, and I don't want to make assumptions. Like I said, I haven't done much research on the buildings and what they're using them for, but my guess would be that this would be a great little workers area right here, right out in the open, where you could do a lot of woodworking. This little building, you can see it's got the unfinished wattle walls right here, so it's got the wattle but no daub, but it looks like this building might be done for. That it's being held up essentially by this this timber right here. So you could see, probably if we look back here, you could see we've got these hills back here, and past those hills would probably be where they have the bigger animals grazing, and they would have their crops growing and things like that, right? You know, it would probably be pretty close. So right above those hills is where I would, if I was running the settlement, where I would start crops and I would start having animals grazing and things like that. But the animals would have to come in back into this little settlement pretty much every day for their own safety. Again, we've got some cool little wattle. Somebody might have a fire going there through. Got another little shack over here. Looks like they're, you know, this looks to me like, say you have a settlement, somebody moves in and they start making friends with everyone and they want to build a house. This looks like somebody just moved in. And the reason I'm say that is because you can see right over here there's a tent. So while they're building this, they might be staying here, but they also might be staying in this tent while they're building this, so that way they don't have to be in the elements until this is complete. And the coolest part about this little area, I love this the most, is that see these kind of shrubs right here? Those are actually willows, and that is most likely what they're harvesting their the sticks and willow branches for these wattle fencing in their walls. So they're actually sustaining this whole settlement in this little tiny area. So we'll go through here again. There's the tent, and it's a standard Norse tent. You got the A-frame type of deal with a bar at the bottom, and this was probably some sort of linen, flax type of canvas material there. So go through these willows here. You see the daub, the wattle, and here we go. So here we are. Another great example on the back end of this one. This is more wattle, where they would end up patching this with daub, and it'd be a solid wall that, you know, the elements wouldn't be able to get through. And you could see that the way they've done the planks on this structure is actually the opposite of the other structures that we've seen. So they overlap each other more, acting more as a shingle, a modern day shingle. So let's head into this. This looks like the little common square. You know, this is probably where most people would hang out. You can see all sorts of tools laying around and things that people would use back then, which is just really neat. Even in this area back here, they've got a little structure for keeping firewood dry and things like that. This building, that is two buildings, you could see the roof is pretty cool. At the top, they've got kind of a shingled formation, but then over the roof, it looks like what they've done is they've done that planking, but on the log, they've only planked half, and then they